Hello, let's do the New York Times Hard Sudoku for December 2nd, 2024. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. All right, we have this 2 and 8. We're starting with that. We have two 2s here. That puts a 2 in one of these two cells. And in the 8, we have two 8s. That actually places the 8 in this box. Let's follow up on the 8, because whenever I place a digit, I want the habit of following up on it. So that puts an 8 in one of these two cells. We can also see these two 8s look down, putting an 8 in one of these two. Now, what we've done here with the 8s is we've lined them up between box 4 and box 6. What that really means is that in row 6, there is no 8 in this box and no 8 in this box. So where is the 8 going to come from in row 6? Well, this 8 says not here, and these corner mark 8s say not here, and these corner mark 8s say not here. So there's only one place in the row that 8 can go, so we can place it for the row. That does not place it for the box. We did not place 8 because there was only one place in the box. There were all of these places in the box, but the row, this was the only place in the row. So we were able to place that. All right, now that 8 and that 8 look down, this 8 looks in, placing this 8, and now we have every 8 placed except for this little rectangle that still sticking around. All right, so that was 2 and 8. Let's do 1 and 6 now. So this 1 looks in here. Even though there's no buddy down here, you can see the geometry of this box here has all of these givens filled already, and we still need a 1. So the 1 ends up in one of these two cells regardless. That's going to point in here along with this one. This one looks up, putting a 1 in one of these two cells. So the important thing we just learned is that these two digits are not a 1. These two cells can't be 1 because the 1 used to be over here. All right, so that took care of the 1. How about the 6? We have this 6 and this 6 looking into this box. So there's a 6 in one of these two cells. So when there is no buddy in the band, what I'm looking for is a buddy down here that might affect other boxes in the band regardless. So we found this 6, and that's what we did there. We know that 6 is somewhere in here, but that's not super helpful. All right, now we haven't covered the 3, so we want to look for buddy. We know there won't be a buddy in the band, but we want to just quickly glance down here for 3s, glance down here for 7s. We do see some 7s, so we can see if those are helpful. This 7 is particularly helpful because we can corner mark 7s into one of these two cells. Now what we found here is what's called a hidden pair. Because these corner marks, what are they actually telling us? They're telling us that one of these two cells is a 6, and one of these two cells is a 7. Well, we can't put a 6 and a 7 in the same cell. So both of those cells need to be used in order to accommodate the 6 and 7 in the box. And so they are going to be only 6 or 7. And that removes anything else that we thought could have been in those cells. So now if we backtrack and we look at this 3 looking through here, this hidden 6-7 pair removed 3 as an option from these two cells. So that puts a 3 in one of these two, which is going to point down. Unfortunately, we don't really have, we're just going to have to remember that these 3s point. Hopefully we glance up every once in a while and notice that, because I don't really see any way to mark that in these boxes yet. But could come in handy for sure. So we want to think about all the other digits that were removed from here. So not just the 3, but also the 4 was removed. We don't really know anything about 4s. 5 was removed. Really don't know it. Like I'm looking at this band and this stack, and we know nothing about 5s. The 6 and 7 are there. 8 is already in the box. 9 was removed. So we do have this, but they already couldn't be 9. Both of them couldn't be 9 for the same reason, or for different reasons, this 9 and this 9, sorry. And so that didn't actually improve the box at all. So that's what we get out of that. We get the 3s pointing. Better than nothing. So I took care of the 3s. How about, all right, I did the 7. The 7 is what I left up on. And then we just looked at 9, and 9 didn't do anything. Okay. So I think that means we can, move on to the next band here. Actually, this box is down to 4 digits. I always like to just take a gander. We need the 1, 4, 5, 6. 1, 4, 5, 6. We know these two aren't 4. So these are 1, 5, 6. And the bottom one's not a 1, which I already knew. This isn't 1 either. So this is 4, 5, 6. This is any of 1, 4, 5, 6. So I'm not going to mark that. Okay, now I think we're good. 4 or fewer is kind of my cutoff for just looking at a row or column until I need to look at it more closely, or if I'm very suspicious of it because there's a lot of markings already. Okay, so this band here, we already took care of the 8s. Let's look at 3, 4, and 9 first. So there's no buddies for the 3 or the 4. at all. I guess that there's this 4 here, but that doesn't help enough. The 9 has a buddy. They look into here, putting a 9 in one of these two. We also have the 6 and the 8. We took the 8 already, so we just have this 6. That 6 looks in, this 6 looks down. That puts a 6 in one of these two. That is going to point into this box along with this 6, putting a 6 into one of these two cells. And I did look up here and we looked down here to see if we lined up the 6s anywhere, but unfortunately the 6 could be here. And the 6 can be all over the place down here. So that took care of the 6. Yeah, for sure. What we learned is these two cells aren't 6. That's the most important thing. All right, now we can take care of the 1, 5, and 7. So the 1, we do have these ones here. That's not super helpful. Nothing over here. Okay. The 5, this is the only 5 in the grid. And then the 7, little Sudoku theory for you. You can be entirely missing one digit. Like, let's say there were just no 9s played, not missing in terms of givens. We're talking about the givens. You can be like missing, saying like, hey, there's no 9s at all in our givens. And that can still be unique. Because it can work out that you get like naked single 9s and stuff like that. But you can't be missing entirely 2 givens, like the 8 and the 9 being completely missing from givens, because then in our solution, if there was a solution where 8s and 9s are placed, you could swap all of the 8s and all of the 9s, and you'd have another solution. So you're always going to have at least 8 unique digits as givens in a Sudoku, and usually you end up with all 9, but you don't have to have all 9. Just a little interesting thing to think about there. Okay, I think that's all we get out of this band. Okay, so the next band here, I'm going to start with the 2 and the 8. We do have 2 2s. 8's already taken care of. I need to remember that. 2's in one of these two cells. Unfortunately, this was a perfect opportunity for there to be lining up 2s that help another box, but this 2 is kind of just already sitting there, so it didn't help. So the 2, we took care of the 8 already. We have the 1 and the 7. So this 1 looks in here, and these two 1s look down. That places 1 in this box. These two 1s look in, putting a 1 in one of these 3. Then we have this 7. Yeah, the 7 looks in here, this 7 looks down, putting a 7 in one of these two. Now these are going to point up, and that removes this as being able to be 7. So that's not a 7 corner mark anymore, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to put 7 in this box. It's pointing. So these 7s point up, removing the 7. That places our 7 right there. So we want to follow up on that 7. Puts a 7 in one of these two. Also, this column is now 1, 5, 6, 9. So the 9 can only go here in the column. See, this 9 sees here. This 9 sees these two. So 9 in the column, not for the box, but for the column. Actually, it is the box as well. But anyway, I looked at the column and I saw the 9 was placed. So now this is down to 5 or 6. This can't be 1. And so now 1 in this column can only go here. And this is 4, 5, 6 now. Okay, that was handy. So we're down to this 5, 6 pair in this column. We got this 9. Let's just double check if there's anything to do with that. This is the only other 9 of note, but it doesn't help because it hits the same this 1, 8. So I did the 2, 8, 9. I did the 1, 7. So we've got so we took care of 1s, 2s, 4s. We can take care of, except there's nothing to do for 4s, and the 8s are done. Okay, so we've reduced this row to 4 digits. I always want to take a look. We need the 1, 3, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 6. So these can't be the 1s at all. So these are 3, 5, 6. This can't be 3, so this is 1, 5, 6. This can be any of them, unfortunately. Wow, so our first pass really did not find a whole lot. Let's see, this row is down to 4. Maybe that helps. We need the 2, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 5, 6. This can't be the 2 or the 6, or the 5. This can't be the 2, 5, or 6. And it has to be from 2, 4, 5, 6. So 4 is the only digit left. So that's a naked 4. So this can't be 2. We know this can't be 2. So the 2 ends up here in the row. This is why I look at rows, columns, boxes with 4 or fewer. Often you can just get digits out of it. We're going to follow up on all of these, but this is 5, 6. That's a 5, 6 pair in the box. I think the first thing I want to follow up on is these 3 digits. We need the 1, 2, 8. So we know this can't be 2 or 8. So this is our 1. That places the 1 in this box. And this is a 2, 8 pair. Now I have too many things to follow up on, which is kind of a good state to be in. So when we're in this state where we have so much to follow up on, what I like to do is just, if there's any rows, columns, boxes with very few open cells left, especially 3 or fewer, I'm just going to immediately look at them and see if they give me anything. So here we have the 2, 8 pair. So we're down to 4, 5, 6, which goes like that. This is 3, 5, 6. Okay, so that wasn't super helpful. I remember getting this 4. I want to follow up on these 4s. 4's over here, because that's not super helpful, is it? I got this 2. Definitely not helpful. This digit is not a 6, 8, or 9, in addition to not being 1, 4, 5, 7. So it's down to 2 digits, right? Because that's 4 plus 3 is 7, so there's 2 digits left. So at max, right? And it already can't be a 2. So this is a naked single. It's not 1, 2. It is a 3. It's not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it's the 3. By counting first, I knew I was expecting a naked single, and then we can just go through the digits to confirm. So what's left is the 2, right? So we need 2 in addition to the corner marks. So this is 2, 6 only. This is a naked 9 because it can't be 6 or 8 and it can't be the 2. So that's our naked 9. This is 2, 8, and this is 2, 6, 8. Okay. So getting this 9, does that help us? Amazingly, no. Okay. Well, this column is now down to 2 digits. We can look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5. And when I pause, it's because I'm looking to see if 5 is limited. And we need 7. This is just a 5, 7 pair. Okay, so but I penciled this 5, 7 here. And I glanced to the right and I found this 5, 6, 7 triple. I'm going to explain this every time I encounter triple like this because otherwise I always get questions. There's always new viewers. And always good to reinforce how this stuff works. This is a valid naked triple. A lot of people are expecting that I would need 5, 6, 7 here, 5, 6, 7 here, and 5, 6, 7 here. And if I don't, then it's not a triple. But removing the 7 here, removing the by the way, the 5 wasn't here because of the hidden 6, 7 pair that we found at the beginning. Without the 5 here and without the 6 here, that doesn't change our triple. That just restricts how the triple is going to resolve, right? Because the triple is saying one of these cells will be 5, one of these cells will be 6, one will be 7. I don't know which will be 5, which will be 6, which will be 7, but that's what they're going to be in some order. And by restricting the pencil marks, or restricting exactly which combinations are possible, but it doesn't change the fact that because this triple is in row 3, the rest of row 3 cannot be 5, 6, or 7. Because if these were not 5, if this was, let's just go through an example. If this was 5, this would be 6, this would be 7, and this would be what, right? You're always going to run into that issue because there's only 3 digits available for these 3 cells. You got to use all 3 of them. And because they all share the row, the rest of the row has to respect that. And so this is a 4 because it can't be 5 or 6. That comes down, making these not 4. That's a 5, 6 pair in the box. So this has to be a 3. Can't be 5 or 6. That leaves 5, 6 that way. This 4 comes back around, removing that 4, but that's not, doesn't place anything. This is going to be a pair because we have the 5, 6, 7 taken care of already. So this is the 2 remaining digits, the 3 and the 9. Okay. What is our next step? We just got some stuffs. Just got some stuffs. I am seeing that we have uniqueness. I'll point it out, but I'm not going to use it. But I know that this digit's going to be a 6. Why do I know this digit's going to be 6? Well, if it wasn't a 6, we would have what's called a deadly pattern. Now, do keep in mind, deadly patterns they must occupy exactly 2 rows, 2 columns, and 2 boxes. If they are in more than 2 of any of those, it is not a deadly pattern. Like if it spanned 4 boxes, for example, like here, you might be tempted. This is not, I mean, obviously I just picked 4 random cells, but this looks like the same formation, but it's in 4 boxes, not 2 boxes. So it is not a deadly pattern. But this is a deadly pattern, and it uses what's called uniqueness, which adds the assumption to our rules that there is only one solution to the puzzle. And if you assume there's only one solution to the puzzle, which is going to be true of all our New York Times puzzles, then you know this can't happen because there is nothing in the row, there's nothing in the columns, and there's nothing in the boxes that would tell us whether the 2's resolve like this and the 8's like this, or whether the 8's resolve like this and the 2's like this, which would give us at least 2 solutions. In fact, it would give us an even number of solutions. And so that's not going to happen. And the reason there's nothing in the row that could tell us is because there's a 2-8 pair. There's nothing in this row that could tell us because there's a 2-8 pair. Nothing in this column because of the 2-8 pair. Nothing in this column because of the 2-8 pair. Nothing in this box because of the 2-8 pair, and nothing in this box because of the 2-8 pair. So you end up, this is called a unique rectangle. It's the most basic uniqueness technique. And so as a result, we can't remove that 6. So this has to be a 6. The only other way that this could have happened with 2-8-2-8 is if they gave us one of these digits. Like they gave us the 8 here, for example, as a given, then that can happen because the given tells you which way to resolve it. So this will be a 6, but I am not going to actually use that. But I'll keep this orange just to remind us that I predicted this would be a 6. All right, I'm noticing this 5-6 pair down here. So we have 1, 2, 3. We need 4 and 7. Okay, not resolved. 3 digits left in this box. We have 1, 2. We need 3, 4, and 9. Wow, just nothing of use. There must be something of use. We do have this 2-8 pair here, though. So, and we have this 2-6-8 triple. So this is going to be a pair. This is going to be a triple. So 1, 2. This is 3, 7. Did I just get something that? Oh, I got 4, 7. Don't need the corner marks there anymore. I'm seeing. So I'm always on the lookout for like triples and stuff, right? So I'm seeing this 3, 7 and this 6, 7, this 3, 7, this 6, 7. So I would just need another cell that had some combination of 3, 6s and 7s, but I don't have that. I have 3, 4, 9s down here. I have 5, 6. But yeah, we don't get that. Okay. This is a triple. So we need the 1. We have the 2, 3. We need the 4. We need the 5. We have 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. That's not a 1. Again, looking for like a 4, 5, 6 triple or something. I'm not seeing it. Okay. So what do we do with this stuff? There must be more to do elsewhere. Yeah, I have this 5, 6, 7 triple. I already did that. I might have to start, let's see. I was going to say I might have to start looking at rows, columns, boxes with 5 or fewer. I don't like doing it, but it can be the fastest way to get forward. I'm going to take a look at my blue digits and just make sure I didn't miss anything with the... Oh, you know what it is? It's these pointing 3s that I said we shouldn't forget. I totally forgot them because I didn't have a good way to mark it down here. But anyway, these pointing 3s do remove 3 from this cell. Totally forgot. That leaves 3 in one of these 2 in this box, which points up, telling us this can't be 3. So that's 7, that's 3. That 7 gives us the 6 and the 5 and the 6 and the 6 and the 5. And the 5 and the 6 there. Wow, I'm a prophet. I told you that those 3s would be important and that I'd forget them. All right, that's 5, that's 7. That's 4, that's 7. That's not a 4. Okay, what else is happening here? This row is down to 3, 5, 6, 9. I'm just going to write out, that's this whole box, 3, 5, 6, 9, 3, 5, 6, 9. These aren't 5s. Wow, that's all we get. Since we're at the end of the puzzle, I'm just going to leave that in. Normally I wouldn't, but I mean, the puzzle's about to resolve itself anyway. This row is, I should have done this row instead. This row is down to 3, 4, and 7. Yeah, 7 can't go here or here. So this is our 7. Now, when I place that 7, this is how I'm so quick at resolving things. When I place that 7, because I have these corner marks seated, I see that removed a 4 corner mark when I placed that 7. I looked ahead of time. Before I place the 7, I look at the corner marks and I remember them. And I remember, 4 got removed. Now there's only one place for 4. That removed the 2. Now there's only one place for 2. Now I can see that makes only one place for 2 in this box, which gives us now the 6 and the 8. By following the corner marks, sometimes it's faster than even paying attention to the red marks here. Our orange is a 6, by the way. Thought I'd point that out. We knew it would be, because this puzzle has one solution to it. This can't be a 9, so this is our 3 and our 9. These are not 9s and these are not 3s. Let's clean that up. Over here, this 9 gives us the 3. This row finishes with a 4. That gives us the 9, 3, and 4 here. That gives us the 5 and 9, 6 and 3. It gives us the 6 and 5. We get our 1, 5, and 4. We get our 1 here. We're down to 5 and 9. And suddenly we're done. All right, so it turns out that the thing I found right at the start that I said I would forget, I forgot, and it was important, and I said it would be important. All right, so there we go. And one thing that, like, your times kind of compound on themselves in both directions. If you can get quick at Sudoku, you're going to get quicker because you get to use your short-term memory more. If you take a long time on a puzzle, you're going to lose that short-term memory. And you're going to get overwhelmed with information, and that's going to make you take longer. So there's kind of an exponential curve to how fast you get at Sudoku as you practice. So if you're seeing times like an hour long or longer, don't fret. A lot of that is because you're losing your short-term memory, and as you get faster, you're going to get faster very quickly. You're going to like have your time just with practice and using the correct techniques. With me, because I actually explained quite a few things in this puzzle, I'm not upset about having explained those, but after having explained all those, I had completely forgotten about these threes, and so it made my solve worse. If I had just blasted through this and not explained anything, I probably would have remembered those threes and used them. All right, and I do mark it, but it depends on me looking up and noticing that when I pencil a very specific cell, and I need to get in the habit of doing that more. Especially if I tell myself early on that I need to, but I forgot that I even told myself that until I was reminded. All right. Well, anyway, let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.